Hi there. All right. In this video, we are going to draw this object here. This is like a carburetor gasket thingy. All right. So let's go ahead and get going here. You can start a new drawing. Remember the little paper icon or click the big A and new. And the standard template's fine. I hit F7 to turn my grid off. And the dynamic input is on. I have my polar tracking set to 90-degree increments. So you can do the same. You can just right click or click the drop down next to the polar tracking icon. I'll left click to get rid of that. Object snap tracking is on. My object snaps, when I right click, are endpoint, midpoint, center, quadrant, intersection, extension. Yeah, I think that's all we'll need for this one. So I'll left click out there. So I'll move this over some and we'll get started here drawing this over here to the right. All right, so we're going to draw some circles. Yay, circles. We like circles. All right. C. And then it wants center point for a circle. And so we just pick a start point anywhere, really. And again, it defaults to the radius. And if we want it to go by diameter, that's not right. Diameter, I promise, English is my first language most of the time. All right, D, enter. There we go. Now, notice it says specified diameter. All right, so it should be 0.75, right? Yes, okay. I'm looking at a drawing over there. All right, so we'll do a circle there and then C again for circle, and we'll do another one just for kicks and giggles, I guess. But also because it's part of the drawing. This one will have a radius of 1, so I'll just leave it as radius and hit 1, enter. All right. So we're basically, drawing this part here, and that arc there is eventually going to come out of that circle. So now I want to draw this here. But before I do that, there's a couple of I'm going to just lay down some construction lines that will help us out. So L and enter, and I'll click here and aim it to the right. My polar tracking's on, so I see that green dashed line. If that's not on, click here on polar tracking. You can use ortho mode too. It's really going to do the same thing. I just always use polar tracking out of habit, I think. All right, this is going to be 7.5 and enter. And enter again, doing that command or spacebar. Now we need a line that bisects that line. L, enter. And I click there, and this one will be 3.5 or 3.5, enter. And enter again to end that command. Now, the only problem with this is it should actually be moved down. So M, enter, for move, and then I'll select the object. Enter again, and then the base point will be this midpoint. I'll move it down to there, and that's where it should actually be. There's other ways to do that, but the dimension I was given was 3.5, and that's a quick way to do that. I'll show you another way to do that here in a moment. For now, let's go ahead and do this. CO for copy, spacebar, and I'll select these two circles, spacebar. Then the base point will be the center, and then I'll put one right up here, and then I'll hit enter or spacebar to end that command. Now I want to get the center of this circle. So again, I'm giving a distance from the center of this circle to the center of this circle is 3 3/8. So here's another way to do this. We can do a circle from this intersection with a diameter, D, enter, 3.375 or 3 3/8. Now where this circle intersects that line is where I want to draw the center of this circle. So the diameter of that is 3 3/8. So I didn't have to draw a line and move it. I can just do a circle and get the same thing. C, enter, from the quadrant there or that intersection. And the size of this is a diameter, D, enter, 2.75 or 2 3/4. And then I don't need this one. I can select it and hit the delete button. Not backspace, by the way. delete button. All right, and let's do one more circle, C, enter. And I'm hovering over the edge of that circle until I see the little green plus sign there, and I click. This one should be a radius, so I'll leave it on radius, and it's 2. All right. So I no longer need these lines. I'm just going to select those and delete them. They were just construction lines. And what I'm doing is drawing part of this, and I'm going to try to mirror the rest of it. I think it'll work. All right, C for circle, enter. And what we're doing is we're going to get this rounded area right here. And it's a circle that, or an arc that goes from tangent to tangent. Tangent of one circle to the tangent of another. So circle, specify center point. I don't want to do that. And I don't have to, because there's a tangent radius option. And so we can just hit T, enter. We choose that option, and then we specify a point on the object for the first tangent. So I can choose here. Here's the second tangent. I can click there. Specify the radius of it. So looking at my drawing over here, it's 1.125 for the radius. And we get this nice, pretty circle. But we have to trim some of it away. So TR, enter, or spacebar. And again, if you're using 2021, I am using 2021, but I've kind of gone back to the 2020 way of doing the trim command. I've changed that mode. So if you're using the newer version, this might be a little different. Fair warning. All right, so I'm going to click. So select all is the default option. I'm going to hit enter. So I'm going to click here. And I'm also going to click here and here. The more I can go ahead and get rid of now, the less busy this will be later. I'm going to show you this too. If you click here and here, and you leave this sort of little arc in here stranded, when you try to trim that, it won't trim it. So if I hit spacebar to end the trim command and select it, I can hit delete. So if you strand a poor little fella like that, you can just delete him. All right, so circle TTR, we did that once. Let's do it again for practice. C, enter, T, enter, tangent, tangent, radius of 0.5, TR, enter, enter, there, and then I'm going to trim here. So it gives us this nice smooth arc, and we're going to trim that. All right, it's looking a little more like what we're going for. All right, so we're going to mirror some things. So MI for mirror, and I'm just going to click and let go and just cross over all of this and click. I'm just going to do all of it for right now, and then I'll hit the space bar. And now the first point on my mirror line will be the center point. And so if I aim it up or down, it will reflect across this line. So I'll aim it up and click. Do I want to erase the source objects? Default is no. I'm just going to hit enter. All right, that's looking pretty good. But let's trim some stuff away here. TR, enter, and enter again. And I'll just get rid of some of this stuff we don't need. So it's starting to look a little more like on the left here, but as it is, it's sort of a, I don't know, funny mask thingy. I don't know. We'll fix it. All right, so I'll hit enter again. So let's mirror MI. I want to mirror this, and I also want the circle and these sort of these short arcs here and here. And I think that's all I want to mirror. So I'm going to hit space bar, and then I'll choose a center point here and aim it to the right and click and enter. TR, enter. So if I say enter, space bar will work also. So I'm going to hit enter, trim, trim, trimity, trim, trim some more. And again, I'm scrolling in and out with the scroll wheel on my mouse, and I'm panning around by pressing down on that mouse button, the scroll button. All right, so there we go. That should look very similar. You probably can't tell in the video, but I believe there's more than one arc up here. If I select one and hit delete, one of them goes away. There's another way to do that. I believe here in the modify, this is the home tab ribbon here. In the modify panel, you expand that, and there's a little broom for cleaning up. So if you have duplicate objects where things overlap, it's also the overkill command. So I'm going to hit Control Z. It kind of glows a little brighter if there's an extra line. And I can kind of tell. So if I do, let's try this out, overkill, OV, enter, and select objects. Let's say I just select all of this. And then it asks me about tolerance and ignoring some things, and I'm just going to leave all this alone. Hit OK. So now, if I hit delete, there's only one there, Control Z. So if you have lines over lines, that's just sloppy. Don't do that. Clean it up. Clean up your mess. All right, that's just good drafting. So there it is. Let's go ahead and just save that. And it's a carburetor gasket. At least that's what I'm told. And all right. So hope that's helpful to you. Subscribe if it is, and that way you can find your way back here. If you hit the little bell-looking thingy, you can, of course, be notified when I post something new. But if you don't want me to bug you, don't worry about it. All right. I'll see you guys next time in the next video. How do I stop the video? Where's it at?